Okay, welcome back. With respect to our last class, we have come across with the rational unified process. Then we had come across with models there. Okay, then followed out we had come across with the MDA. That's a model-driven architecture. Else it can be model-driven engineering. Okay, so these all things we have come across. So let us come across with the next section over here. And in this particular section, you will be coming across with these four important divisions there. One is we are ultimately keep in mind that whatever we are learned just now, okay, so those are all in terms of theoretical way, whereas in this particular section we are taking an real time example and we are taking across with a case study and we are proving it. So that is with object oriented design using UML. We'll be coming across with this. So most of the things we have already come across in your module 2. Then we'll be coming across with what do you mean by pattern as a term, what do you mean by design pattern as a term. Then we'll be coming across to know regarding implementation issues, then open source development. So these are your four sections what are divided in this particular presentation there. Okay, first one, design and implementation. So always keep in mind this is a stage in software engineering process uh, at which an executable software system is developed there. Okay, software design and implementation activities are invariably interlinked. They are connected to one another. Software design is a creative activity in which you identify software components and their relationships based on a customer requirements there. And implementation is the process of realizing the design as a program. So whereas you firstly design the things based on the ultimate creative activity of a respective designer, okay, you identify the software components using the customer requirements there, whereas you do across with the implementation, which happens to be the process of realizing the design as a program. Okay, then either there are two things. One is you build or buy. Okay, buy is nothing but COTS, in other words, that we can call it as off the shelf system there. So what is this off the shelf system is already and component based development is already available to you. You are making use of it, you are taking it and you are making some changes to it and then re-intimating or else re-emphasizing it into the respective market. That is called out as COTS there. Whereas one more is you will be building it from the scrap. The application is built from the scrap there. Okay, now like for example, if you want to implement a medical record system, you can buy a package, okay, that is already used in hospitals. Okay, yes, it can be cheaper and faster to use this approach rather than developing a system in a conventional programming language there. Okay, so that's why I said to you, it is like already it will be there available, you can make use of that application, but if at all you wanted to be customized one for your respective work, so at that time you can go across with some changes there. Okay, when you develop an application in this way, the design process becomes concerned with how to use the configuration features of that system to deliver the system requirements there. Okay, let's come across with the first one, object oriented design using UML. Okay, so what is this object oriented design process there? So it is structured object-oriented design processes involve developing a number of different system models into it. They require ultimately a lot of effort. It requires maintenance towards the models. Okay, it can be for small systems. This may not be that very cost effective, but when it comes across with a large system, ultimately it will be cost effective there. Okay, so then what are the process stages here? Okay, so whenever I say object oriented design using UML, what are the common activities which are included in this particular process there? The very first one is you define the context and modes of use of the system. Then second one, you design the system architecture. The third one, you identify the principal system objects there. And the fourth one is you develop the design models. Okay, then comes the fifth one is you specify the object interfaces. Okay, these are your 5 respective activities which goes one after the another. Process illustrated here using a design for the wilderness weather station there. Okay, so here for everything further I'll be making use of this particular case study called out as weather station there. Okay, with respect to weather station, you will be looking across with defining the context and modes of use of system, designing of system architecture, identification of principal system components, developing design models, then specify object interfaces there. First one is context and interaction. So what is this context and interaction? Always keep in mind understanding the relationship between the software that you are going to design and the external environment. Okay, so that is how to provide the required system functionality, okay, and how to structure the system to communicate with its environment there. So this is what is understanding the relationship between the software and the being designed there. Okay, one more is understanding of the context also lets you establish the boundaries of the system. Setting the system boundaries helps you decide what features are implemented in the system being designed and what features are in the other associated systems there. Okay, context and interaction models are a system context model is is a structural model that demonstrates the other systems in the environment of the system being developed there. Okay, it's a structural model, so which ultimately demonstrates how your system is behaving in the environment of a system there. An interaction model is nothing but a dynamic model that shows how the system interacts with its respective environment when it has been used. Okay, here you can just come across with this diagram for a system context for the weather station there. So in the weather station I have some main important things here. Weather information system I have, okay, then I have a control system, then I have a weather station, then through satellite which has been communicated or which has been designed with all of these. Weather information system and control system I have a relationship as 1:1. Okay, control system and weather station I have 1:1 dot n, so that is multiple weather stations can be communicated. Satellite is one, but I have multiple weather stations to which it has been forecasted. Then weather information system and weather station also I have it as 1 and 1 dot n. Okay, so with respect to this particular weather station, so if I am designing for this weather station weather information system, the interaction model that, so for this interaction model I can take it as weather information system can have some use cases there. So what are those use cases? Use cases are nothing but what are the users, what are going across with this weather information system is you report the weather, report the status. Okay, for the control system you restart it, you shut down, reconfigure, power save, remote control. So these are all the operations which is being done in a control system. So whenever you say reconfigure, so that's nothing but a refresh. So it goes across with again the latest value of the weather information system is being delivered to you. Okay, so these are the use cases with respect to weather station. Some examples I have given, that's all for weather station and control system. Okay, then let us come across with if at all I am speaking about report weather. Here you can just come across. So whenever you are reporting the weather, okay, here for this report weather as a use case. So for that, so what's the use case? Report weather. Who are the actors here? Weather information system and weather station. These are the two mediums through which I can have and report of a weather there. Okay, what's the description? What ultimately is this use case doing? The weather station sends a summary of the weather data that has been collected. It's a self-descriptory slide, you can just read it. Okay, so ultimately through the weather station you read the information and that is being addressed through the weather information system and a reporting of weather is been done. Okay, who are the response systems here? That is stimulus. Stimuluses are the weather information system establishes a satellite communication link with the weather station and requests the transmission of the data there. Okay, you can just come back to this particular block diagram. Weather information system triggers to the satellite, satellite triggers through the weather station, it appears back to the weather information system with the data there, reporting of the weather there. Okay, response is the summarized data is sent to the weather information system there. Okay, and the comments are weather stations are usually asked to report once per hour usually. Okay, but this frequency you can, like for example if there are slides or something like that, so at that time it might differ from one station to another and the timing can be reduced or changed across, instead of less than 1 hour or else more than 1 hour also. Then let us come across with architectural design. What is this architectural design? Once your interactions between the system and its environment have been understood, you should now use this particular information for designing the system architecture. Okay, you identify the major components that make up the system and their interaction and then may organize the components using an architectural plan such as layered or client server model there. Okay, the weather station is composed of different independent subsystems that communicate by broadcasting messages on a common infrastructure. Okay, so here this is an example for a high level architecture. So high level architecture, it goes just as a generic structure there. I have a subsystem here called as fault manager. I have this particular block diagram in UML is called out as package. Okay, if at all you are very well aware with Java as an usage there, so always keep in mind for a class it is just a rectangular box. Okay, for a package on that you have a small another small box, so that is called it as a package. So this is entirely a system there, so that's why he has called it as subsystem fault manager, subsystem configuration manager, subsystem power manager, subsystem different instruments which are looked across. Okay, then it comes across subsystem data collection, then subsystem communication, and through a communication link you have these connectivity which has been shown there. Okay, then followed out with that, and just an example for a data collection. Okay, I have given here data collection. In data collection, what do I have here? I have transmitter, I have a receiver, I have weather data. Okay, so whenever weather data has to be fetched, so at that time it has been looked across through a transmitter, and through the receiver it has been received there. Okay, so then comes across with what are these object classes which are to be identified across for this particular weather station there. Okay, so there is no something like an something called it as a formula or something for identifying these objects there. It goes on how best you use out your skill for this particular work there. Okay, object identifications are must, and through common objects which are been performing similar properties, you group them together and you call it as a class there. Okay, so approach to identifications are some identifications can be like, for example, you can use a grammatical approach like an natural language description of a system. Okay, wherever you have a natural language, you can just straight away call it across as an that can be used for a object identification or something. Okay, base the identification on tangible things in the application domain. Okay, use a behavioral approach and identify objects based on what participates in what behavior. Okay, use a scenario based analysis. Okay, the objects, attributes and methods in each scenario are being identified there. Okay, so now like for example, if I am going to devise weather station object class. Okay, object classes. So here you can just come across that there are different things which are being required for that. One is ground thermometer is required, one more is weather station, one more is weather data. So if I say ground thermometer, so it can be anemometer or barometer. Okay, application domain objects that are hardware objects related to the instruments. These are instruments which are being required to devise the latest values there. Okay, then comes weather station, the basic interface of the weather station to its environment. Okay, then comes weather data, it encapsulates the summarized data from the instruments there. Now like for example, if I have weather station object classes, okay, so those can be like, for example, if I have a ground thermometer, I can identify the data members under it like GT, ident, temperature, and for anemometer it is for wind speed devising. Okay, for that collection, so I can call it as an ident. Okay, an identification number is given, wind speed, wind direction. There can be any number of collection of data members which can encapsulate here under anemometer. Similarly for barometer, bar identification will be there, pressure, what's the pressure, weight for it, and other things. So similarly I have for ground temperatures, wind speeds, wind directions, pressures, rainfall. So this all you can call it across for an collection weather data there. Okay, similarly I have for weather station, it can be report weather, report status, power save, which requires an what do you say, whenever I am saying power save, I have an what is a collection of arguments here called out as instruments. For remote control, reconfigure, so it can be commands. So if whenever I have a start as a command or also stop as a command, it works based on that, these user defined functions. So apart from that, I have a restart and a shutdown, so that again works across through instruments as your respective what do you say, an argument there. Okay, which is taken. Okay, so followed out with that is our next section of design models. Okay, so I'll tell across this in my very next class. Thank you.